Hi everyone, welcome to pythonvibes YouTube channel. My next interview question is how to remove duplicates using Python in different ways. So we need to remove the duplicate elements from a given list. So ఈ problem ni handle cheyadaniki I came up with 5 different ways. So the first one is using for loop, and the next one is using list comprehensions and enumerate and list comprehensions, and the fourth one is set and list, and the fifth one is using dict from keys and list constructor. So we'll be looking at one by one, so that how to we'll come to know how to remove the duplicate entries from a given list. So let me open. Ideally, consider this list as input list. So now basically what we are trying to do here is we wanted to remove the duplicate elements from a list. So we will be looping over all the elements in the first way of approach. We will be looping over all these elements one after the other, and we are storing the list of elements in a list named new list, which contains the unique elements. So while looping over these elements, the initial list one elements, if the element is already existed in this new list, then we don't have to append into this new list. So in that way we can avoid the duplicated elements. So let me write the code for this. So initially we will be in taking the for loop for element in list 1. So what did I say? Whenever this element is already existed in new list, then we can skip that element. If it is not available, then only append into this new list. So if the element is not in this new list, so then only it has to append into the new list element. So I'll be appending this. Else we don't have to check or write the else case, because whenever this condition satisfies, then only it will comes into this if block and it will append the elements into this new list. So let me run this and check the output. One second. I guess even here also we'll get that. Okay, let me save it and run. So now this way we have removed the elements, and let's see the explanation for the same. So initially whenever we take for loop, list 1 contains all these elements, and for the first iteration the element will be equals to the 1. So what will happen? So this 1 will check whether this 1 is existed in a new list or not. So right now new list is an empty list, so this 1 is not available in new list. So we will be adding the new the 1 to this new list by using append, and then for the next loop, where it would be 2. So what will happen? It will check whether this 2 is in new list or not. New list contains only 1. This is what it has. So this new list has only 1. So for the second loop, this 2 is in new list or not. So it is not available because new list has only one element, that is 1. So then 2 will get appended into this new list because it's not existed in new list. And again for the third loop, it will check for element would be 3. 3 is in new list or not. So this new list is now having 2 elements, 1 and 2. This 1 and 2 only is there, but 3 is not available. So it will comes into this if block and it will append that element 3 into this new list. And for the fourth time, the element it will become 2, but 2 is already in new list. So this will skip it because we have 1, 2 and 3 already in the new list. So when we run the fourth time, this 2 is already available in new list, so it will skip for the next iteration. Same way for the fifth iteration also, and sixth iteration, the seventh iteration and eighth iteration. But whenever it approaches 4, it will check this 4 is in new list or not. So this was not available because new list contains only 1 to 3. So it will comes into this if block and it will append the 4 into this new list. So that is how it will eliminate all the duplicate entries, and then at the end for the 6th, this last item, the 6 was not available in the new list, so all the unique entries would be stored into this new list, and at the end we are printing the new list element, whether new list. So here, so this is the first method, first way of approach. And in the second way of approach, like we will keep this new list, and in the second approach what we will do, we will go with list comprehensions. So if you are not really sure about the logic, whatever the logic we have discussed earlier, same thing we can use it here. So in case of list comprehensions, what do we need to do? So initially we had taken new list here, so I have to initiate a for loop. So for element in list 1, but what are the conditions to write? If element is not in this new list, then what it has to do? It has to do new list dot append this element. So this is how we will approach with list comprehensions. So now if I would print this new list, same way like earlier we got this result, we will get only the unique entries. So now also we got 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is second approach. And when we take third approach, in third approach we have used, we are going to use enumerate and list comprehensions. So first of all, we have to know what is this enumerate function does. So imagine I wanted to use this enumerate. So this enumerate function is like, it will when we iterate over an object, what will it gives us? It will give us the index and the element or the value. So it returns these things. So when we loop over this iterable object, which is nothing but list, so we will get index of each element here. So let me initiate a so this all code I'm going to comment it over here, and we'll look for the third approach. So in third approach, what are we going to do? This new list equals to element, let me do one thing, element for element in enumerate of list 1. So what did I mention? Along with the element, it also gives us the index. So that's the reason I had taken index element also here. And then in the condition, what it has to do? So what we are doing here, like we will be checking this element is not in list 1 of till here. So this shouldn't be available. So let me run and print this new list. What are we going to get? Let me check it. Oh, 1 second. Element in list of -1. Oh, no. 1 second. We will be writing elements not in index. Sorry. Not in this element, not in the list of index. So what it is doing, in case of third approach, what are we doing? Enumerate and list comprehensions. So this enumerate, it will return us the index and the element or the value, the value of a iterable object. So whenever we you iterate over the iterable object, it will return us index and the element, I mean the value of that element. So here what will happen? Element for index comma element in enumerate of list 1, if element is not in list of index. So we need to understand what is this list 1 of this index. So here the index means we'll be having for 1, it would be index would be 0. So for 1, when we loop here, like for index comma element, for the first loop it would be taking this 1 element and index would be 0. And what it is doing, it is checking like if this element is not in list of index, what is list of index? List 1 of colon 0, because that is the index value. So list 1 of 0 colon 0, what it gives? It gives us empty list, because this is not going to include not even zeroth index. So that is the reason it will consider, and this element, that is nothing but 1 is going to get inserted in this new list. And then for the second loop, what will happen? For the second loop, the element would be 2 and the index will be 1. This is how we will get. And in the condition, what are we checking? If 2 is not in list 1 of colon index is 1, so colon of list index of 1, what is this? What it gives, what it is written as means list of -1 means it contains 0th element. So list 1 of 0, what is this list 1 of 0? Which is 1. So list 1, so it only contains 0th element, it is only slicing till 1. So this 2 is not in this, so that's the reason it is getting appended into this new list. In the same way, it is there for 3. So that way it will check here and it will return us all these unique elements in the new list. So this is the third approach, and we will be seeing the fourth approach, which is by using inbuilt data type, which is nothing but set. We all know that sets will give us unique elements. Like what is the syntax for the sets here is set 1 equals to 1 2 3 4 5 6. Even then, if we print this, we will get only 1 2 3 only 1 2 3 4 and 5. Even though 2 and 3 are existed twice, but still it is going to take only once. So that is the property of, one second here, that is how the sets will work. So same way, whatever the output I have written, we got the same. So here, if we use list to remove the list of duplicated elements from here, I'm going to use list constructor of set of. So we already know that set of list 1 will gives us the unique elements, but why are we not directly considering it as a unique elements? List of unique elements means this is returning us a set element, set object, and in this set the elements whichever are there, those are unordered in the sense there is no fixed order here. So whenever we run this program, 1 2 3 can change any place, 4 5 3 1 2, that can also we can expect in the output. So this can also happen. So to avoid this problem, we are keeping a constant ordering. I mean, we wanted it in a fixed order, so that's the reason we are going with list. So what it does here, it will convert all those unique elements into a list. So if we print this directly, I'll be assigning into one new parameter, which is new list, and if we print new list here, it will give us 1 2 3 4 5 6, which is a list of 1 2 3 4 5 6. So when we use the list here, we will get fixed, I mean ordered numbers. It will not change the order whenever we run. Any number of times if we run this program, the order is not going to change it. So actually, when we compare the time complexity and the space complexity here, it would be linear. So it will have order of n. So it will have the both time and space complexities as order of n. So even in the real time also, this is the best approach to use it. But during the interviews, it depends on the interviewer, what are they looking for. If they are asking us to don't use any inbuilt data types or inbuilt data types or methods, then we should not use these list and set directly. We shouldn't use these constructors here. So we have to go with basic logic to remove these duplicate elements. And the last, which is fifth way of approach, is like to use the dict dot from keys. So what it does, it will take a iterable as an argument, and it converts into each it will take, we know that, right? In the dictionary we will have only unique keys. Even though the key is already existed, whatever the latest key we use. So imagine we have this kind of dictionary like A1, B2, and C3, and again A as 3. And if we try to print it, at the end the final value for D would be 3, because the latest value whatever we are passing to the keys, that would be considered, and it will have that latest updated value for that specific key. That is the reason this dictionary will contains only unique keys, but the values would be, even though we can see the duplicated keys here, but at the end the final value would be unique only. Whatever the latest value we pass it to that specific key, that would be the actual value for that key. So if I would print this D here, and also I'll print this later, I will print it. So for now I'll print this D here to see whether A, B, C and A again has what value. So this A is going to have this latest updated value as 3. So let me run. See, A is holding 3, even though we given initially A value as 1, but it has taken 3 as its value. So that is how it works in the dictionary. So whenever let me take this new list equals to this new dictionary. Actually this dict from keys, what it gives us, the unique keys with this from this list of duplicated values, it will create unique keys with the values as none. So this new dict contains, like suppose imagine 1 as none, it will have none, 2 as none, so and so on till 6 will be creating this kind of list from dict.from keys, this line. So but we were not looking for this kind of solution, because ultimately what do we want? A list which should contain all the unique elements. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 would be our actual result here. That is what we are looking out. So when we print it here, we'll see whether are we getting this kind of list or not. So let me run this. So as I said, this is converting all the duplicated elements into, it is taking all these elements and it is converting unique keys of keys with the values as nonce here. So that is how it is creating the dictionary. But to convert from this dictionary to the list, we can directly use list constructor here, so that we will get a list of elements. So this all these dictionary with the nonce will get converted to 1 2 3 4 5 6. So now if I print this new list here, what will happen? I'm just printing it. It is creating a list of unique elements 1 2 3 4 5 6. So yeah, this way we can write it. If the recruiter or the interviewer, whoever taking the interviews, and if they are not okay with this kind of inbuilt methods, then we can directly go and create a dictionary which should have the count of each element. So I'll be writing the code for that. So imagine I had taken like what I meant to do is, 1 is existed how many times, we just have to count the number of elements as a we just have to create a dictionary which should contain like numbers as unique numbers as a keys, and the count of occurrence should be its a value. To create that, at the ultimately what it should give us, it should return us is like when we create a dictionary, it should give us like 1 is existed twice, so 1 is to 2, that means 1 is existed 2 times. And when we take 2 is existed how many times? 4 5. So imagine 2 is existed 5 times, and next we will take 3, and the 3 is existed 4 times. So same way we will check it for 4 is existed for 2 times. So and so on, we will check it whether it's what is the occurrence of each element here. So to get that thing, we will be looking over each element. For element in list 1, if the element in dictionary, then what it has to do, it has to increase the value of that, so value of it by 1, because it is trying to count it. If it is already existed in this dictionary, it has to increase the count. 1 is already existed once, and in the next time when it is checking, it should increase to 2. So that is how I'm doing. An else condition, what it has to do, because it is not existed, what it has to do, it has to add that element with 1. So now if I would print it, this D here, it will gives us this output. So let me do that. So as I said, 1 is existed for 2 times, 2 existed for 5 times, 3 existed for 4 times, 4 existed for 2 times, so and so on. 5 and 6 are only ones. So now we have the unique keys, and we just have to do, what do we need to do? Print list of D dot keys. We can either do this or other ways also there. So let me run this and show you the output. 1 second, just missing this parenthesis. So we got the output 1 2 3 4 5 6. So in this way we will be avoiding the from keys method there. So here what will happen, initially each element is coming here as a list, and for the first time what will happen, this element is equals to 1. This element is already existed in D. 1 for the first loop, what will happen, 1 is not in D. So what it will do, it will comes to else block, and D will be updated with D of 1 with 0, sorry, with 1. So what will happen to the D contains right now 1 as 1 for the first loop, and for the second loop, what is there, 2 element would become 2, and it also checks for 2 is in D or not. So it is not existed because we have only 1 colon 1 1 colon 1 only, so 2 is not in D. So it will come to this, and what will it do, it will add the 2 to list of 2 equals to 1, and at the end this list to this dictionary will become 2 colon 1. And for the third loop also same, because 3 is not in D, so it comes to the else block, and it will add that element 3 to 1, and the dictionary will become 3 colon 1. And now for the fourth time 2, so it will check 2 is in D. So 2 is in D, right? So what will it do, 2 is in D, yes. So it will satisfy this if condition, and it comes to the if block, and what it will do, already list of 2 is having 1, so this 1 is being increased with plus 1. So that time what will happen, D of 2 equals to 1 plus 1, already 1 was there, so now it becomes it would become 2. So at the end, the final for the fourth time, what would be the dictionary, this 2 would get updated with 2 colon 2. So that way it will calculate all the elements and its respective counts there, and then at the end we are converting all the list of keys. Either we can do D dot keys, or directly we can do like list of D. What will it give, list of D will gives us only the key elements. So now we got 1 2 3 4 5 6 as after removing all the duplicated elements. So that's all guys, thanks for watching these videos. Let me know if you have any suggestions for me, or any doubts if you have in these all these approaches. So please comment in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.